Namo Namaha and welcome back. So now that we have some sense of how this passive construction works, this karmaṇi prayoga, let's get down to business about how to actually make your karmaṇi prayoga, how to make your passive construction in the present tense, the karmaṇi lat. The process is actually going to be basically the same as our other lat, our kartari lat. We will still start with our roots, our dhatus. We want to turn them first into stems, and then we add our personal endings to match the person and number of whatever is our subject. Now it's whatever's in the first case in the sentence. The process will still be the same, but the formation of the passive present tense, the karmaṇi lat, is actually much more straightforward than our kartari, our other lat that we learned. You can actually say it in one sentence, it's so easy. To form the present passive conjugation, take the weakened or zero grade form of a verb root, you add your passive marker ya in order to make a passive stem, and then you always add the atmanepada ending so that it agrees in number and person with whatever is in the nominative in the sentence. Now, as you'll remember, the nominative is going to be the object of whatever action is being done by the verb. But that's it. That's the whole thing. It's really that simple. The stem is always going to be a weakened root plus ya, regardless of what class or gana the verb belongs to. There's no strong, weak alternation business. There are no special exceptions to the endings or any of all of those myriad complexities, entanglements that we saw with the lat, our present active forms. The only exceptions come in the first thing, the process of creating your zero grade forms of the roots, but thankfully they're not too different from what we've already seen with the weakening of roots in our gerunds, our tuantas. So let's look at a few regular examples in the present active and then in the passive constructions, comparing the two, and then we'll turn to some of the more irregular versions to watch out for. Let's start with Vanaraha phalam khadati. The monkey eats the fruit. Here the verb khad, eat, is a class 1 parasmaipada root, with the present stem being khada, right? Khadati. The passive form in English is going to be, the fruit is being eaten by the monkey. To get the stem of the passive, we'll take the root, we'll add ya, giving us khadya. Now we add the atmanepada ending that agrees with our new subject, not the monkey, but the fruit now, right? The fruit's going to be in the singular in the third person, so we choose the ending te, and we'll end up with vanarena phalam khadyate. The fruit is being eaten by the monkey. Suppose we had Sita gajau pashyati. This means Sita sees the two elephants. The passive construction in English would be expressed as the two elephants are seen by Sita. The root for pashyati, if you remember, is drush, to see. Right? We form our passive stem off of the root drush, not pashya. Right? We'll start with drush, add ya to get our passive stem drushya. Then we add the correct atmanepada ending so that now it has to agree with our new subject, which is the two elephants. So we'll pick the third person dual ending here, ete, and get drushyete. The sentence will be gajau sitaya drushyete. The two elephants are seen by Sita. How about the sentence Ramaha yushman abhijanati? Rama recognizes you all, 3 or more. The passive version of the sentence is you all, 3 or more, are being recognized by Rama. The verb recognize is the prefix abhi plus the root nya. Nya is going to be a 9th class root, but we actually don't care what gana is part of when we're forming the passive stem. We just take the prefix plus root abhidnya, and then we add the passive marker ya to get our stem abhidnyaya. Now we add the atmanepada ending that matches our new subject, which is now yuyam, you 3 or more. So we need the second person plural ending here, dve. And so we get yuyam ramena abhidnyaya dve. You all are being recognized by Rama. Finally, let's consider an example of an intransitive verb with no direct object. Remember, we can't really do intransitive passives in English, but we can do them in Sanskrit, and it's known as the bhave prayoga. So if we had kanya hasati, the girl laughs, it's passive. In English, you'd say something like, it's being laughed by the girl, right? We've had to add our dummy subject, it, the neuter singular pronoun tat, It's unspoken, but it's the subject and it's in the nominative. We use it, but we don't actually say it in the sentence. The kanya, the girl, goes into the instrumental. 1 goes to 3, right? Kanyaya. The verb itself forms in a very straightforward manner. We'll take the verb root has, laugh. It's a first class parasmaipada root, but it doesn't matter what class it's in. You add ya, and you get your present passive stem, hasya. Now you conjugate it in the third person singular. You add the ending te, and you get hasyate. So the sentence is kanyaya hasyate. It's being laughed by the girl. The girl is laughing. So for most regular roots, it's going to go like the same way, right? Go is gachati in the active present, meaning he, she, it goes. Gamyate in the passive, meaning it's gone to. Hun, kill, gives you hanti as the active present. He, she, it kills. Hanyate in the passive, meaning he, she, or it is killed. Pat means read. Pathati in the active present becomes pathyate in the passive, meaning it's read. Chid, cut, 7th class verb, which would be chinatti in the active present. He, she, it cuts. In the passive, gana doesn't matter. You just take the 0 grade root, you add ya, you get the stem chidya, and you add whatever ending goes with whatever is being cut. So you get chidyate, it, she, he is being cut. Upa plus vish, meaning to sit, gives you upavishati in the active present. He, she, it is sitting. This becomes upavishyate in the passive construction. It's going to be an intransitive passive because you can't have a direct object of sitting. Abhave prayoga. It would mean something like it's being sat by so-and-so, meaning so-and-so is sitting. We can do the same thing with second class root atmanepada as, which means to sit. Aste in the present active conjugation. Ramaha aste, Rama sits. In the passive, we'll take as, we'll add our passive marker ya, and the singular personal ending, the third person singular ending, te, to get asyate. Ramena asyate. It's being sat by Rama. Rama is sitting. I can mention here a handful of exceptional forms in the passive stems. Again, many roots ending in short e or short u will become lengthened. So if you get ji, class 1 parasmaipada verb meaning to win, this is jayati in the present active, he, she, or it wins. In the passive, we'll take the ji, we'll lengthen the e to become ji, and then we add our passive marker ya, and we get our passive stem jiya. Then we add our appropriate atmanepada ending. So if we had active sentence, Ramaha yuddham jayati, Rama wins the war, we can say yuddham ramena jiyate, the war is won by Rama. Same thing with short u. Hu means to offer sacrifice. It's third class, so the present active stem experiences that reduplication, that abhyasa that you remember, and we get juhoti. To make the the passive stem, you take hu, you lengthen the u to u, and you add the passive marker ya, so we get hu ya. Then we add the correct atmanepada ending to match whatever is being offered now. So if we have example, aham grutam juhomi, I offer clarified butter or ghee, this will become grutam maya huyate, right? The ghee is offered by me. The similar thing is going to happen when the root ends in a vocalic r. In this case, the vocalic r turns into a consonant r, ra, followed by a short e. So r becomes ri. The most important example is one you should commit to memory as soon as possible. It's the root gr, to do or make. This, of course, is karoti in the present active. In the passive, it's going to become kriyate, meaning it is being done. So you can say, balako vivadam kurutaha. This would mean the two boys are making an argument, a quarrel. They're having a fight. The passive version of this would be vivadaha balakabhyam kriyate. The quarrel is being made by the two boys. The verb smru, to remember, is similar. The passive stem would be formed first by converting it to smri, adding the passive marker ya, and then your atmanepada endings. Aham jananim smarami. I remember my mother. Right, this would become janani maya smriyate. Mother is being remembered by me. Another exceptional case is when roots end in a long a. Many times this a will turn into a long e before the passive marker ya. So da, give, the present active conjugation, of course, is dadati. The passive stem is diyate, it is given. Nrupena dhanam diyate, the money is given by the king. Same with pa pibati, meaning he, she, or it drinks. The passive stem will become piya. Gajaha jalam pibati, the elephant drinks water. Gajena jalam piyate, the water is being drunk by the elephant. Or there's ta, tishtati, which means he, she, or it stands or stays. The passive stem here is thiya. Kukuraha marge tishtati, the dog is standing in the road. This will become kukurena marge sthiyate. There's another bhave prayoga formation, meaning roughly it's being stood in the road by the dog. Right? Notice, however, that nya, to know, doesn't follow that a to e rule. It's not niyate, but rather it stays nyayate. So there are some exceptions to the exceptions. Right? Finally, let's turn to one last issue in the formation of these passive stems, and that's a phenomenon called samprasarana. Right, this is our semivowel downgrading, which we saw, if you remember, in the case of those gerunds, those tuantas, were verbs that begin with the syllable va or ya, meaning semivowel v or y, and the short vowel right, tend to reduce this complex to the corresponding vowels u or e. And this regularly is going to happen in our present passive stems. So for the root vach, to say or speak, reduce the va to an u, and we get uch. And then we add our passive marker ya, and we have our passive stem uchya. And then we add our atmanepada endings. So etat ramena uchyate. This would mean this is said by Rama, or vas, to live in, to dwell, vasati in the present tense. To form the passive, you reduce vas to ush. Notice the S sandhi rule that's taking effect here because of the U. Then you add the passive marker ya to get ushya. Add the atmanepada ending, so you get, as an active form, you will get mrugaha vane vasati. The deer lives in the forest. In the passive form, it'll become a bhave prayoga, again, an intransitive passive, and we'll get mrugena vane ushyate. It is lived in by the deer in the forest. So those are the various forms of the passive. It's really a fairly straightforward thing. The only trick, again, is going to be roots that end in various vowels, long or short, and this business of semivowel downgrading, samprasarana. It's mostly straightforward besides that. The sandhi rules are not terribly complicated here. The one thing I wanted to mention is the issue of present versus past passive tense. The forms we've been considering are all the karmaṇi lat, right? The present conjugation of the passive. Just like we made the simple past tense, the lung, based on the present active lat stems, we can also do the same thing with the passive. We can form a karmaṇi lung, the past passive construction. All we would do there is to take our passive stem, add an augment before it, and our secondary atmanepada endings now that we used for the lung. So if we had Ramena vanam gamyate, the forest is gone to by Rama, the past passive would become Ramena vanam agamyata, the forest was gone to by Rama. Ashvena phalam khadyate, the fruit is eaten by the horse. In the past tense, this becomes Ashvena phalam akhadyata, the fruit was eaten by the horse. Sitaya granthaha patyante, the books are being read by Sita. In the past tense, this becomes Sitaya granthaha apatyanta, the books were read by Sita. It's really a very straightforward thing. You convert to convert the passive present to past, you from let to lung, you just add your augment to the passive stem, your atmanepada secondary endings instead of the primary, and that's it. So with that, let's stop here. Let's get to practicing making all kinds of various passive forms. Pay special attention to agreement, right? Just remember that atmanepada endings that you use have to match whatever's in the nominative in your passive sentence, not the agent. So next time, we'll continue on this path of learning about passive constructions and the past tense, and we'll find out how we can replace what we just learned, this passive imperfect conjugation, this karmaṇi lung, with something even more simpler to produce, if you can believe it, which is called the past passive participle. So till then, thank you for watching. See you next time. Punarmilamaha. Dhanyavadaha.